Hello everyone, I'm Jack Fisher and welcome to my world. And in that world, comic books have a special place. Being a lifelong comic book fan, some of my fondest memories occurred in comic book shops. Every month, hundreds of comic books are released and the world is a better place because of it. Some are great, some are awful, most are just okay. But in the spirit of sharing my love of comics, I'd like to highlight the underrated gems in the comic book world. That's the primary mission of Jack's Comic Gems. These books aren't always familiar characters under familiar brands, but they're still great in their own right. Today, I'd like to highlight a crossover I had no idea I wanted so badly. Transformers vs. Terminator by IDW and Dark Horse. Now, strange crossovers are a hallmark of comic books. Spend just a few minutes in a comic shop and you'll find all sorts of unusual crossovers. Most are just gimmicks, coming off as glorified fan fiction and money grabs. But when done right, these crossovers can be a special kind of awesome. Transformers vs. Terminator is a perfect example. On paper, it seems shallow. It's one famous brand of killer robots versus another famous brand of killer robots. It sounds like mindless fun. You don't expect much else. But there's so much more to this story. In this world, the Cybertronians invade Earth, as they often do. The Decepticons defeated the Autobots, and there's no Optimus Prime to save the human race. So humanity is effectively wiped out by Megatron, but before the last human dies, they create Skynet. And Skynet continues the war against the Cybertronians with its army of Terminators. But the war doesn't go their way, unsurprisingly. Hell, this thing couldn't even beat John Connor. What chance does it have against Megatron? Their only hope is, surprise, surprise, time travel. Just as Skynet is about to fall, they send a T-800 back to 1984, the year of the first movie, which also happens to be the year the Cybertronians attack. Its mission, once again, is to stop the invasion and preserve Skynet. As for humanity, well, that's where things get tricky and a little more interesting. Yes, the T-800 is designed with Arnold Schwarzenegger's look in mind, so don't worry, that aesthetic is still there. There's no Genesis or Dark Fate influence whatsoever, so those disappointed by those movies can rest easy. I can say the same for the Transformers. They look like they came right out of the G1 cartoon in the 80s. There isn't a hint of Michael Bay's influence in sight. It's basically the most iconic look for both franchises. And that story evolves in unexpected ways. That shallow concept I mentioned earlier, it vanishes in the first issue. The combined writing talents of IDW and Dark Horse really make an effort here. It's not all about robots fighting robots. Yes, that's certainly there, but there's an effort to give purpose and motivation behind it. The Terminator's mission gets complicated when it learns that not all Cybertronians want to conquer Earth. On top of that, it kinda needs the help of the Autobots if it's going to stand a chance against the Decepticons. At the same time, the Decepticons' mission gets complicated when the Terminator prevents them from wiping out the Autobots. There's a sense that everyone's goals have been disrupted, and it's not clear how they're going to navigate those disruptions. The Terminator can't complete its mission without the Autobots, and the Autobots need the Terminator if they want to avoid a future where they're defeated by Megatron. And once again, caught in the middle of it all is humanity. And that's where Sarah Connors, complete with the look of a young Linda Hamilton, gets involved. It makes for a hell of a ride. It's way more compelling than fans of either franchise could expect. It starts off as a gimmick, but it quickly becomes a genuinely engaging story. When there's a temptation to just have killer robots fight killer robots, that's quite an accomplishment. That's what makes Transformers vs. Terminator a true gem. If you want to check it out, I've provided Comixology links in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for more comic gems. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.